Okay. Practice exam number 4. First question. Cube root. Cube root. So I'm just going to rewrite it on a blank screen here. So, practice exam number 4, question 1. Cube root. Let's get it right here. Cube root of, oh, it need a little bigger, huh? 7 over 9x squared. Okay. So, the deal is we got to get rid of the root from the bottom. You look at all the answers, they don't have any roots in the bottom. So, how do we get rid of the root from the bottom?
Break it down first to see what.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you end up with 3 of everything, right? Because there's a 3 in the hook there, which means he's a 3-for-1 deal at target, right? You give him 3 of anything, he'll ship it out, right? Got to have 3 though. So what does he have right now? That 9x squared. Here, let me just break it into 2 different roots. We don't care about the top. The 9 is 33xx, right? 9x squared is 33xx. You don't have to write it that way. You can just know it, and that's fine. But that's what it is, right? 9x squared is 33xx. Now, does he have 3 3s? No, he's only got 2. Does he got 3 x's? No, he's only got 2. So if you give him 1 more 3 and 1 more x, then he'll be able to ship out a single 3 representing the 3 3s and a single x representing the 3 x's, right? 3-for-1 deal. That's what a 3 in the hook means. 3-for-1 deal, right? So, like Target, Christmas shopping is here now. Halloween's over, right? Maybe they'll have a lot of 3-for-1 deals. So, cube root of 3x, cube root of 3x. Top and bottom. Everybody see how I came up with that game plan? You give them whatever it takes to make there be 3 of everything. That way they can ship out of the root. So now there's 1, 2, 3 3s in the bottom. So they'll ship out a single 3 to the denominator. No longer in a root. That's what we want. No longer in a root. And there's 1, 2, 3 x's. Shipping out an x. No more root in the bottom. Does that make sense? That's what gets rid of the root from the bottom. You give it just what it needs so it has 3 of everything. It had 2 3s and 2 x's. I gave it 1 more 3 and 1 more x. But whatever you do at the bottom, you got to do the top. So what do you do up here on the top? Just crunch them together. Yeah, there's nothing going out or anything. It's just cube root of 7 times 3x, 21x. We're done. Does that make sense? It all just stays in the root on the top. Why? Because there's not 3 of anything. There's a single 7, a single 3, and a single x in the top. So nobody's coming out. Remember, he's 3-for-1 deal. Only when you have 3 whatevers does 1 come out. So there it is. What answer is that? B? Looks like B. Hey, why can't I cancel these x's? Or go 3 into 21 7 times? They're different worlds, right? Outside the root, inside the root. 2 different worlds. No crossing the line. That good? All right, stop me if you want to talk about it. Number 2. The root of 50 over x. Hey, there's nothing in the hook on this one. What does that mean really in the hook? 2. It's a 2 root. It's a square root, isn't it? So it's really a 2. So that means you need 2 of anything. Now, I would actually deal with that 50 right now. What's in 50? 2 times 25. 25 is 5 times 5. So really, inside the 50 right now is 2 5s and a 2. Right? 2 5s in is 1 5 out. The 2's left in. And the root's still on the bottom. I haven't done anything with the bottom. There's still a root on the bottom. So far, so good. Now we got to get rid of that root from the bottom. How do I get rid of that root from the bottom? Root x, right? So we get 5 root 2x, right? Because the 2 and the x just go together inside. Insiders with insiders, right? They just go together. On the bottom, root x, x? Plain x, because that's 2 x's in, 1 x out. Because there's nothing in the hook here, so that's a 2-for-1 deal. Whereas problem number 1 was a 3-for-1 deal. We good? Is that there, or is that none of the above?
None of the above.
Oh. Yes, indeed it is. It's disturbing. We good? Onward and upward. All right, I'll keep moving. You stop me if you want to talk about it. Number 3. Oh, I'm going to need a fresh screen for number 3. So I'm going to move on. Number 3. It's the 5th root over, the root 5. Changing the problem here. Over 5 root 3 minus root 5. Okay. What needs to be done on this one?
Conjugate.
Yeah. Do y'all recognize when you have a root and a plus or minus on the bottom? You've got to multiply by the opposite sign in the middle. Remember that? So 5 root 3 plus root 5 over 5 root 3 plus root 5. So that's you write opposite sign in the middle when you have roots and pluses or minuses in the denominator. So when you have a root and plus or minus in the denominator, multiply by opposite sign in the middle, which is called the conjugate. Multiply by the conjugate. Okay. So what do you get when you do that? Well, gotta be careful. Remember, the main rule is outsiders with outsiders, insiders with insiders. Here we go. Root 5, boom. Root 5, boom. So root 5 times 5 root 3. Who actually multiplies? The two insiders. The 5 and the 3 will make 15 inside the root. The other 5 will stay outside. So 5 root 15 plus. Good so far? And then root 5, plain 5, because there's nothing in the hook here, which means 2 for 1 deal. So 2 5s in, 1 5 out. Good on the top so far? Now the bottom is a big old FOIL. 5 root 3 times 5 root 3. Outsiders with outsiders, insiders with insiders. 5 times 5 is 25. Root 3, plain 3. That's going to be 75. You can just make it 75 right now if you want to. Good so far? See why it's a plain 3? Because root 3, plain 3. And then 5 root 3 goes there. Who's going to multiply? The insiders, huh? It's going to be plus 5 root 15. He's done. Good so far? And now this guy will go to both. Minus 5 root 15. Right? The 5 and the 3 inside multiply. And finally, minus root 5. Plain 5. Right? Root 5. Negative times positive, negative. Root 5, plain 5. Good so far? Good with all that FOIL, top and bottom? All right, on the top we have 5 root 15 plus 5. On the bottom, these guys cancel. And we've got 75 minus 5. 5 root 15 plus 5 over 70. Good to there?
Now you divide them all by 4.
Yeah, good. Good. Remember, once you get to here, you've got to look at the 3 numbers that are not in roots, the 3 outsiders. And you got to ask yourself, is there some number that they're all 3 divisible by? Remember, because it's all or nothing, isn't it? Because the plus sign is the Costco glue sticking them together, so you can't just do one or the other. You got to do all or nothing. Are all 3, 5, and 70 divisible by the same number? Yeah, they're all divisible by 5, aren't they? So we do that. We go divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. Leaves 1 root 15 plus 1 over, what, 14? There's our answer.
None of the above.
No. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the above again. All right, we're on a roll. 2 none of the aboves. Yes, Kara.
Is that 1 in front of the root, like, totally necessary?
It is not. Good question. It is not. Because 1 times root 15 is just root 15, huh?
It would be okay like that.
Yep, totally. But the 1 at the back is important, right? Adding 1 makes a difference, right? But multiplying by 1 never changes anything, huh? Good point. Are we good there? All right, onward we go. Move on, number 4. All right, x plus 2 squared is 24. What do we do when we got a big 2 power on something like that? Just root it out of there. You getting the hang of that, right? Two powers and roots are opposites, right? They undo each other. So yeah, first step, I would just go root, root. Notice I'm not going to FOIL out that left side and mess around with that thing. Just root it. Get that thing out of there. But when you put a roof on your house, nobody knows. My great and catchy sayings, I thought you were like singing them all day long. It rains. I told you about my friend, my sad friend. It rained up and down the ladder. Right? Right? When you put a roof on your house, you got to go up and down the ladder to do that. So put a root on both sides. Go plus and minus, don't you? Okay. So then the rooting cancels the squaring, and you just get x plus 2. It's plus minus. Now, what's the root of 24? Well, break it down. 4 times 6, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. So 2 2's inside, 1 2 outside, 6 is left inside because 2 times 3 goes back to 6. Okay to there so far? I simplified that root 24 to be 2 root 6. Last step. Jump that 2 to the other side. What happens? Becomes a negative 2. Plus or minus 2 root 6. So you see how that's answer A? They all kind of look somewhat similar, huh? But it is answer A. That good? Not confusing? Not bad? Give you a second. Any questions on that? Because it went to the other side of the equal sign? Whenever something jumps to the other side, it changes signs? Is that good? All right, I'll move on. I can leave it right there, huh? Number 5. Let's see, number 5 says 8 plus 4i minus 4 plus I. So this one's just, distribute the minus sign like terms, huh? So let's have the minus sign go boom and a boom. 8 plus 4i plus 4 minus I.
And that's really 1 and
Yeah, we good to there so far? And then that's, 8 and 4 is 12. 4i minus 1i is 3i. And which answer is that? That's C. Answer C there. You good with that? Can I keep moving? All right, I'll go on to number 6. If it's too fast, it'll be on YouTube later. Number 6, 49x squared plus 36 equals 0. What should we do with that one? Yeah, remember, let me lay out for you the game plan. I think this would be very useful and helpful to you at this point, because we've done a few different things with x squared. I think it can be confusing. So let me lay out the x squared overall game plan. How about that? I think that would be super helpful to you just to have on your 3x5 card, because a lot of this test is x squared. We've done a few different things at different times, so I could see where it would be confusing because we kind of almost seem to be changing our mind at different times. There really is a way they all fit together, though, so let me do that for you. So first off, if you have x squared and no x to the first power, that's easier. Just get x squared alone and root plus or minus root over the two sides. Here, let me put a root on the left, put plus or minus root on the right. That's all you got to do if you have that. Number two, if you have x squared and also x to the first, then try to factor, the factoring method, try to factor equal to 0. You got to get it equal to 0. Try to factor equal to 0. Or B, if you have x squared and also x, first get it equal to 0, then try to factor, and if it won't factor, If it won't factor, then use negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Use the quadratic formula. I never showed you where that quadratic formula came from, did I? We don't have time today. So maybe after the test. Next week. Anyway, because you can do it. You can actually come up with that thing, and I want you to see it. It's not required, but I think you'll enjoy it. You just basically complete the square. And that thing, I'll show you where that comes from. You have the skills now to derive that thing. Anyway, we'll do that later. So, does that make sense? Is that a good x squared game plan? That really, if you put that in your 3x5 card, that's the plan. That'll handle any x squared equation. So what's the first thing you do? You say, okay, if it's got x squared and no x to the first power. That's this one, huh? See how we have x squared and then just numbers? No, there's no x to the first anywhere. There's not like a 7x, there's not like a regular x to the first anywhere, is there? There's just x squared and then numbers. So that's x squared and no x to the first. Well, those are the easy kind. Just get x squared alone and do the root thing. Don't have to do all the zero factoring, quadratic formula stuff. Not required. Okay, so let's do that. So this one, just get the x squared alone, which means bump the 36 over. So 49x squared equals, what happens when something jumps to the other side? It changes its sign, so that's negative 36, yeah. And then divide by the 49. Boom. So now we have, kind of running out of room here. X squared is negative. Got room here. Let me know if I really got room or not. X squared is negative 36/49. Good so far. Good. And now, so that's what it's saying. It says just get the x squared alone and then do the root thing. So I'm going to do the root thing, which means what? Put a root over the left side, over the right, that's over the whole right, and put plus or minus, right? Roof on the house, up and down the ladder thing, right? Good. Rooting cancels squaring, so x is plus or minus. Now, what do you do when there's a negative inside of a root? See how we have a negative inside the root now? That kicks out an I. Where's the I go? Right to the front of the root. Don't let it go anywhere else. Don't let it go past the plus or minus or anywhere. Just zip right to the front of the root. And now you just root. What's the root of? We have a root of a fraction here. So just root the top and root the bottom. What's the root of 36?
That's negative
6 and 7, huh? Plus or minus I times 6 sevenths. Or 6 sevenths I. You put the I in the back. Same thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter where it is. So hopefully that answer is somewhere.
1337.
It's C. See how that's answer C? You can put the I in the back. But you cannot put the I, right, the I does not jump past the plus or minus. So that's what they're trying to trick you with on those answers I got off the publisher's website. Yeah, so it's C. Everybody see that? We good on that one? Good with the overall x squared game plan. X squared and no x to the first, then just get that x squared alone and root it. If you have x squared and regular x, that's when you got to try to factor. If it won't factor, do the quad. So if you have that down, that'll handle any x squared. All right, I'll be flashing back to that. It'll be on YouTube if you want to see it. Again, let's go to number 7. 1 plus 3i over 5 plus 7i. What are we going to do? Yeah, it's conjugate again. Good job. Good job. Does everybody realize that? That I is like a root, remember? So I in the denominator, this is conjugate time. Because we treat it just like it's a root, because it is a root. So we multiply by opposite sign in the middle. 5 minus 7i. Top and bottom. Is that good? So this 1 goes boom, boom. 5 minus 1 and 3i goes boom, boom. Plus 15i minus 21i squared. Good so far. And then on the bottom, same thing. FOIL. 25 minus 35i. Boom, boom. Plus 35i minus 49i squared. Yes, it is. Is that good to there? So I just FOIL the top, FOIL the bottom? Combine some like terms now. So what do we got? So this is going to be 5. These guys, minus 7i plus 15i is what? Plus 8i? And what do we do with I squared? That's negative 1. Remember that? I squared right here, negative 1. I squared right here, negative 1. So it'll become minus 21 times negative. Yeah, it'll be plus 21. If you want to just jump to plus 21, it's a good idea. These guys cancel. Minus 41, 9 times negative 1. Those are both going to change signs, huh? So then we get 5, and this is plus 8i, minus 21, plus 21. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Why did I write minus 21 twice? That's crazy. And now I think it's fixed. Yeah, sorry. Is that better? It's all good on the bottom. 25 plus 49. So that's what? 26. 5 and 20 was 26. Plus 8i over, I don't know, 74. Yeah. We good to there? Well, so far? And now we can divide all three of those numbers by 2. Remember, if the three numbers are all divisible by the same thing, you got to do it, huh? So divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. 13, 4i, isn't that 37? Yeah. So there it is. They probably separated it or something, or whatever. We got it. Same thing. Good? C? Is that what it is? 7C, yeah. Questions? So a couple conjugate problems. See how this stuff's just kind of messy, huh? This test got some mess. No questions? Good. All right, I'll keep moving. Number 8. A is 8. C is 13. Find the missing side of the triangle. Find the length of the missing side of the right triangle. Yeah, so a squared plus b squared is c squared, huh? Pythagorean. Right triangles, right? Put in the 8, put in the 13. Right? Yeah. So 8 squared plus b squared is 13 squared, 64. Plus b squared is 169. Subtract 64. B squared is 105. B is the root of 105. And then just use your calculator. Is that like 10 point something? Is it?
10.27. 247.
247. So it's answer C, huh?
Yeah.
There we go. That was a nice, easier one there. That was messy ones. That's good. I can probably squeeze in number 9 right here. So number 9, 6 minus 3i, 9 plus 5i, FOIL it. 6 times 9, 54, minus 30i. Boom, boom. Minus 27i minus 15i squared. So I messed up. Yeah, why did I do minus? Wow. Yep, thank you. So 54, this 2 makes plus 3i minus, and what's I squared again? Negative 1. So that makes it plus 15. 54 plus 15, 64, 69.
Yeah.
Plus 3i. Answer D.
The next one one is dirt.
Yeah. We good there? All is well? All right, I'm going to move on. Number 10. It'll be on YouTube if I'm too fast here. Sue rowed her boat across Lake Bend and back in 3 hours. All right, so it's distance, rate, time. But I'd like to see the... So number 10. Sue rowed her boat across the lake and back in 3 hours. So distance equals rate times time. All right, so her rate returning was 2 less than the rate going. So we have going and returning. Got the going, the trip there and the trip back, right? Going and returning. So it says that she rowed her boat across the lake and back in 3 hours. 3 hours. Is 3 hours, is that a distance, a rate, or a time? That's a time. So should I put it here? If I put it there, I'm saying the time going was 3 hours. Is that what the words are saying? No, they're saying there and back was 3 hours. Like maybe hour and a half there, hour and a half back, or 2 hours there, hour back, or something like that. They're not saying 3 hours going or 3 hours returning. They're saying total 3 hours for the going and the returning, aren't they? So you can't put the 3 there. The 3 you can put down there. It's going to be the total of the 2 time boxes, isn't it? Does that make sense? Right? She went there and back in 3 hours. All right, so her rate returning, her rate, so we're talking about the rate return box right here. The rate return box is 2 less. What do you do in any word problem with 2 less? X minus 2, huh? And whenever there's an x minus 2, there's also plain x here, huh? Remember that? 2 less? We good? The distance each way was 7 miles. Distance each way. Is that's each box is 7, huh? Both boxes are 7. Each distance is 7. Obviously, the distance doesn't change there and back, although the time might. Okay, I've got 4 boxes. How do I get those T boxes on the right? Do you remember? Divide. Yeah, remember it's always divide. Because if you have the equation distance equals rate times time and you want time, you divide by r, don't you? Time is d over r, isn't it? So the d box over the r box, 7 over x. D box over the r box, 7 over x minus 2. And these 2 formulas, these 2, must add up to be 3, huh? 7 over x plus 7 over x minus 2, x minus 2, must add up to be 3. Because the total time is 3. The total of these 2 time boxes is 3 hours, they said, there and back. Total time 3. Add up to be 3. Is that good? So that's our equation. If you got that down, I'm going to go to a fresh screen. So we need to solve it now. How do we solve that equation? Common denominator? Is the 3 part of the denominator? No, it's 3 over 1, huh? So it's just x and x plus 2, and you know the drill, top, huh? X plus, minus. Why keep doing plus 2? X minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2. So I'm going to go to fresh screen. So this is still number 10. And it is 7 over x. And we're going to multiply through by x minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2. So then you cancel. So we have 7, x minus 2 cancel. 7x and 3x, x minus 2. We good to there? So far, so good. And then we just keep cranking. Distribute here, so 7x minus 14 plus 7x. Distribute here, 3x squared minus 6x. Like term, 7x is 14x. Good to there. Now what should we do? Yeah, when you see x squared, got to get a 0, huh? Got to get a 0. So let's do that. Which means, and it's always, you always get 0 on the opposite side from x squared, don't you? So x squared's on the right side. I'm going to make the left side become 0. By doing what? By doing the opposite of everything in the left side, so it just becomes 0. Everybody good with that? You always do the opposite of the opposite side of x squared to make that 0. Whatever you do to one side, you have no choice but do the same thing to the other to keep the balance. So 3x squared, what's that? Minus 20x plus 14?
What would happen if you jump the negative 3x squared to the other?
You could. You just have the front term being negative.
And you just factor it out and just leave it on its own?
You could factor it out. So we get to here. Good. Now at this point you can try to factor that. If you're comfortable with factoring, that's a little bit of a tough one to factor. If you're a good factorer, you could factor it. If you're not as comfortable with that, you can do the quad, right? Quadratic formula. Either way you want to go, it will factor, I bet. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do the quad. So A, B, C. I'm going to plug those into the quad. Go to fresh screen if that's okay. Still going. Number 10, the never-ending problem. 3x squared minus 20x plus 14. A, B, C. So, negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So here we go, plugging in negative b is itself negative 20, double negative, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So that's regular 20 plus or minus square root of 400 minus whatever
68.
12 times 14 is. What is it?
I think it's 168.
It sounds good to me. 168 all over 6.
Square root of 232.
Plus or minus. Here, I better bring it up. I need a couple more steps. Bring it up here. So 20 plus or minus, that was 136? No, 2? 232, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then what's the square root of 232? Tell me it's nice.
2 square root 58.
It's not nice?
No.
Oh, it's root answers. This is terrible.
Yeah, no, it comes out to a decimal.
This is awful. This is a tough problem.
Really nice.
Yeah, wow. All right, so I got to root that 232 thing. Now, some of you guys have the calculators that'll do it automatically, right?
Yes.
Just hit the button, Casio Natural Display.
0.79 and...
No. And what's the root, though, for them? Not the decimal.
2 root 58.
258 is that what it is? So I'll do it by hand anyway. So it's 2 times 116, and that's 2 times 58, and that's 2 times 29. So I broke down that 232, 3 2s and a 29,
You only have one here.
2 for one deal, 2 2s in, 1 2 out. So it's going to be 20 plus or minus 2. What's left inside? 2 times 29, just like Renee said, root of 58 over 6. We good to there? We're almost there, folks. We're close. See,
Plus
you-
2 root 58 over 6 is...
everybody see what I did with breaking down that 232? Right? It came out 3 2s and a 29. So 2 2s in, sent 1 out, and 2 times 29, which is 58, stayed in. What's the last step?
Plus and minus.
Yeah, you got it. This guy are all divisible by 2, aren't they? Remember, if the 3 outside numbers are all divisible by 2, or whatever, you got to do it. Have I lost you completely?
No.
We good? So 10 plus or minus 1 root 58 all over 3. Is that there?
No.
Oh, they're decimals.
Yeah, I told you.
I was looking down at number 11, and so I kept seeing the root things. Don't do all this. This is dumb.
No, you
Sorry.
have to do that.
I was looking down, and I thought, man, they're making us give roots. See, this next one down is all those root answers. I thought, that's mean. I don't remember doing that. Yeah, no, just hit the buttons. Yeah. Don't do all this stuff. That's a little more, I thought, boy, this is really hard. Yeah, just do the, you got to do the plus, and then the minus. The minus is going to be negative or something crazy,
No,
right?
it's gonna be 0.79, and then the 20 plus 2 root 58 is gonna be 5.9.
So this one is the 5.9? 5.9 and 5.9. Yeah, the other answer is faulty.
0.79.
Yeah, it's the negative one is not reality. 5.9. That is the answer on that. Yeah, so you don't need to break down that root 232 thing. 5 points. So that, there's a problem that has like everything in it. Do you realize? Right? That problem is a word problem. So there's reading words, setting up the dirt equation. Then it becomes fractions, and all that we've learned about fractions and LCDs, and then it becomes an x squared equation and dealing with that and getting a 0, and then it's a quad and how to do a quad, and then it's calculating difficult ones on your calculator. That's why the average on this test is 2 grades lower.
That's why.
At this point, we're putting it together, or we're not. We're finding out, yeah, I really learned how to factor well. Yep, I really learned how to do those difficult ones on my calculator. Yep, I really do have those fractions down. Or I don't, and it wrecks you. So I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to tell you the truth. If you want to do well on exam 4 and exam 5, you really got to put some time in because of problems like this, right? This is why the average grade on the test, if you guys are like other groups, will be 2 grades lower. So it doesn't have to be you, though. Don't hear that as a condemnation, but as a reality of what you're up against. You can do it. Put the time in. You can even go higher on this one. Question?
Yeah, how did you actually get to 5.9?
Yeah, so that'd be on the calculator. I'll be glad to do that with you after class. One thing maybe that'll help, make sure you hit equals at the end. That messes up a lot of people. So if you type it on your calculator, just go 20 plus root of 232. Make sure you hit equals and then divide by 6. Hit equals before you hit divide by 6. That's the main thing that messes people up. Yeah, definitely try that on your calculator, guys. Don't just look at me and say, oh yeah, I could do that. No. You're setting yourself up for a big, bad Monday. Don't tell yourself sweet little lies. The truth will come out on Monday.
I would like to make petition you to give us the maximum amount of time for this test on Monday and not go over any new material.
No, I'm sorry. I hear you, but I do not receive it. No. That is part of the deal.
I would like to start a petition with my classmates and have them sign it.
I'm sorry. That's unreasonable. And the reason I'm looking at it is I'm looking at your future at universities in Fresno State. Really, you guys would be shocked. I'm just while Roberto, I don't know if you heard me and Roberto talking back there. He's at Fresno State now. He's like, they're just crazy over there. Basically, halfway through a problem, he's taking engineering. If you mess up a problem halfway through, they don't even want to see the rest. 0. You're done. So anyway, so really, guys, I'm kind of babying you. This reality's coming. University teachers that would look at this, they'd go, "What are you doing? Right, wrong? Come on, practice exam? Are you kidding me? Read the material, take the test." This is all help, crutches, encouragement, but not that much. That's too far. Reality's coming. You got to be able to do this in an hour and a half. I'll give you an hour and a half, like I usually do. Not more than an hour and a half. If you take more than an hour and a half, you have not learned this material well enough. That's what that means. That's the truth. I'm telling you, that you'll see it when you go to university. They don't play games like this. They don't give practice exams. They just go, learn the homework, see it the test. That's it. So I've got to keep that in mind. I got to keep your future in mind. All right, 5.9. I'm glad to help you, though. Come see me. Glad to help you.
You're the
All right.
reason we get excellence in transfer rates.
Well, it does me no good if I baby you so far that you're really not ready for the university. I've got to keep that in my mind. All right, let's move on. So, what are we going to do with this one? Fractions.
This one kind of stumps me.
Common denominator?
Not gonna lie.
What's common denominator?
X times X times X.
X squared. Remember, remember when they're the same, you only need one of every type, highest power.
I did both of them.
Just need X squared. Remember LCD? Remember I said you're going shopping to the store, but you're going to buy one of everything, but only the most expensive one? I'm only going to buy the most expensive milk, the most expensive eggs. I'm not going to buy all the different brands of eggs, all different brands of milk, just the most expensive. That's the way I try to help you with LCD. So when you see something repeated, you think, I'm only going to buy one of those X's, not both. Which one? The more expensive one, the X squared, the higher one. So only one of each type, the higher one. Not together, not 3 or something like that. You're not totaling them. You're only buying one of everything in the store. All my analogies are shopping, yet I never go shopping. That's kind of funny. But anyway, so highest power. So x squared, x squared, x squared. Top, top, top. Cross cancel. X cancels this. 1 times x is x. These cancel. 2 minus 1x squared.
Oh, okay, then get a 0.
That good to there? Got rid of the fractions? Remember all those fraction rules? That's what's hard. It's like all coming together, and you got to keep all that stuff together. All right, so now I got x squared. What do I do to solve an x squared? Get your 0, huh? And let's jump this over so it'll be positive, because we like the front term positive, huh? Am I good to there? Is that going to factor?
Yeah.
You could try. It ain't going to factor. So what do we do when it doesn't factor?
Quad.
Quad. Our friend, the quad. A, B, C. Negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So let's put it in there. So negative B, negative 1 plus or minus square root of B squared minus B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A, which is negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 minus 8 over 2. Negative 1 plus or minus the root of negative 7 over 2. What's a negative in a root? It's imaginary. It kicks out an I, huh? So that negative will go boom and put out an I. Negative 1 plus or minus I root 7 over 2. There we go. B? Looks like answer B. Good on that one? We got 25 minutes left. I'm going to keep moving. Be on YouTube if I'm going too fast. On to number 12. Number 12. So 4r squared plus 18r minus 19. What do I do first?
Get a 0.
Yeah. Bring this back so we get a 0. Plus 19 equals 0. What now? Quad again. It's just a bunch of quad work, isn't there? So A is 4, B is 18, C is 19, negative B. Plus or minus. You got this thing memorized yet? Square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So negative 18 plus or minus square root of B squared 18 squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. And these are 18 squared. It's like 364 or something. Kind of guessing. Is that what it is? What's 18 squared? 324. 324. It was something like that. All right, what's 4 times 4 times 19? I don't know. What is it? Anybody know? 304. Okay, thank you. All over 8. Negative 18 plus, or well, let me move it up here. Negative 18 plus or minus the square root of 20 all over 8. Break down the, remember how to do root 20? 4 times 5, 2, 2, 2 2's in. 1, 2 out. Leaves in a 5 over 8. That good? 2 2's in, 1, 2 out. Last step, we got to divide here. We've got to go divide. Remember, we've done this a few times now. You getting the hang of this? With the 3 outside numbers all divisible by the same thing. Got to divide them all. So divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So what do we then get? We get minus 9 plus or minus 1 root 5 over 4. And you don't need that 1. The 1's not, right? 1 times root 5 is just root 5. Minus 9 plus minus root 5. Is it none? Oh, it is. They're tricky. They all kind of look close, but no. It's none of the above. We've had like, what, 4 none of the aboves already?
Yeah.
No, 3. That was the third one.
Yeah.
3 of them. None of the above is 1 out of 5 options. So if they have an even share, then 25 questions, 1/5 of them will be E. That'd be 5. So it's not unreasonable to think there might be 4 or 5 E's on the test. That would be their fair share. right? All right, on we go to number 13. 3n squared is minus 10m minus 1. Can I just go dot, dot, dot? Well, here, let me do the first step. There's other things you need me to do with you. Jump these over, right? Get a 0. Then A, B, C, quadratic formula, negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A, dot, dot, dot.
Was the answer C?
I have no idea. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way that you could divide it by 3 and then square root the whole thing? I'm just curious.
No, because the n would still be on the other side.
She asked if it was C and he said yeah.
Okay.
Isn't it C? 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, 13C. You know what I mean, Abraham?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Let me make sure that's clear. So minus 10n minus 1. If you divide by 3, you get n squared is minus 10n minus 1 over 3. I know what you're thinking. Well, that's in, you just rooted, we got n. Yeah, but n's not alone. It's also over there.
That's just a question.
See the problem? Yeah. Yeah, so we can't do that. Good. No, ask that stuff. That's how I learned too. I'd say, hey, why can't we do this? And the teacher would show me and go, oh, there's a lot to learn in what you can't do along with what you can. That's great. Please ask that. I'm glad to answer it. That is how I learned as well. All right, so x squared plus 2x minus 7. We're supposed to graph it. They got a bunch of graphs there. Bless you. Bunch of graphs there. How do we graph? We had two kinds, right? We have the kinds with the parenthesis with the 2 power. Those are the easy ones. We'll do one of those in a minute. That's just opposite same. Remember those? But the ones without the parentheses, like this one, you got to find the center of the U shape, right? That vertex, that center of the U. Got to find the center of the U shape. Yeah, x equals negative b over 2a. So you want to have that on your 3x5 card. That's the outside of the quadratic formula, huh? That's the quad without the plus or minus root part. So negative b over 2a. So what's a, b, and c here? This is a, this is b, this is c. So negative b, whoop, not plus or minus, I'm doing the quad. Negative b, I'm so used to it, over 2a. There we go. No plus or minus root. So that's what? Negative 2 over 2, negative 1. So x is negative 1. Good so far. So that's how you find the x value. I've got half of it, negative 1 comma something. I've got the x value for the center, the vertex of the U. This could be a U-shaped graph, right? They're all U-shapes on the multiple choice. That's the x value. How do you find the y value? Plug it in. Plug in x to where? To f. F is y, isn't it? Remember function values are y values? So this is y equals 1x squared plus 2x minus 7. Plug in negative 1, plug in negative 1. And so what is that? Some kind of number. 1 minus 2 minus 7. 1 minus 9 minus 8. So the center is minus 1 minus 8. So let me do that. So back 1, down 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like that, huh? You guys with me? Back 1, down 8. That's the center of the U shape. Good? Good so far. Am I going too quick? So back 1, down 8 is the center of the U shape. Right? Now, which way is this U shape going, up or down? Yeah, because the A is, it's all about A, isn't it? If A is positive, it's up. So this is a U shape going up. So that's it. I got it. You can tell from that it's D, isn't it? See, that's the only one that's down and left and going up, huh? So you don't even need any more information than that. That's good enough. That's how it'll be in the real test. Just find that center point, and you know it's a U shape going up because the A is positive. Positive in the front, it's going up. If there was negative in the front, then it's going down. That good? The graphs are easier, I think, than the other stuff on this exam. All right, I'll move on to 15. 15 is going to be the same thing.
The answer to number 14, it was B?
Wasn't it D?
Yeah. Okay.
Minus 2x squared minus 2x minus 5. So here's 15. Same thing, huh? Same exact thing. Find the vertex negative b over 2a. So let's do it. X equals negative b over 2a. So this is A, B, C. So negative, what's the signs? Negative 2 over 2 times negative 2. Got a lot of negatives there. It's plus 2 over minus 4 minus a half. I would just make a decimal. Easier to use on your calculator. Negative 0.5. That good? So that's x. Now plug it in. Plug in x is negative 0.5 to what? To the original function. F of x is y. Y equals minus 2x squared. Minus 2x minus 5. Plug it in like that. So x is negative 0.5. Just hit the buttons on your calculator. This will be 0.25 positive. Positive 1. Negative 0.5 plus 1 minus 5 is 0.5 minus 4.5. Just hit the buttons on your calculator. So the center, the vertex, the center of the U-shape is negative 0.5 for x, negative 4.5 for y. So when I go to graph the thing, ready? I'm going to graph it now. Negative, so here's negative 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's negative 5. So it's negative 1. It's like right here. Negative 0.5. It's almost down to negative 5. Is it going up or down? Yeah, A in the front is negative, so it's going down. So which one is in the lower left corner going down?
B.
B. Easy pickings. Does that make sense? The center right here. Right? Negative half a unit down 4.5 units. Everybody see that? Back a half a unit down 4.5 units. U-shape going down because the A is negative. So that's easy to pick. And notice I don't even put none of the above. Look at how easy I am. Don't even put none of the above on the graph ones. So I'm trying not to, I don't want you to be tripped up by some weird little thing and think it looks just kind of different or something. So you grab none of the above. I don't want to fool you. So the graph ones, I don't put none of the above. You know it's one of those 4, so it's clearly B. Good? Keep moving. We only got 15 minutes left. I'm going to get through this. So number 16. Oh, another word problem. Oh, this is a little easier. Car dealer, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should put the words up there real quick. Okay, so car dealer advertised, blah, 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 banner from the top building to the edge of the driveway. So basically you have this building. This is a building over here. And there's going to be this banner that's stretched down. Top building to the edge of the driveway. The building is 19 high. So the building is 19 high. And the driveway is 35 long. How long is the string? Call that x. See how it's a right triangle? We're trying to find x. Does that make sense? The building is 19 tall. The driveway is 35 long. They're asking how long is the banner? Here's the banner up here. There it is, the string. String of banners. So find that x. What formula? Pythag, a squared plus b squared is c squared, right triangle. 19. The only one that matters is who's alone. That's x. He's the one across from the right angle. He's the hypotenuse. So I'm going to go dot, dot, dot. Whatever your calculator says. I'll move on. Is that okay? Questions on that one? Oh, good. 17 will be quick. F of x is minus 2x minus 4 squared. Remember when they have the parentheses squared, these are snap, snap, done to graph. How so? I don't have to do the harder negative b over 2a to find the center. How do I find it to U-shape? How do I find the center of the U-shape? Opposite, same. Opposite, and then what else out here? 0, same. Center. So when it has parentheses squared, the center is opposite of what is next to x, and the same, whoops, come on, opposite, well, let me, going too quick, I'm messing up. The center is opposite of number next to x in the parentheses, and it's the same as number to the right of the parentheses. So opposite of this number next to x in the parentheses, same as the number off to the right. There's nothing, so it's 0. So what's the center on this one? Positive 4, 0. So put that on your graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Over 4, up 0. There it is. There's the center of that U shape. And then, is this U shape going up or going down? Yeah, this one's going down because there's a negative in the front. Whatever's in the front, very front, tells you up or down. Positive up, negative down. So it's down. So which one has a U shape over to the right going down? D. These are cake, huh? Good? Easy pickings. Keep moving. 18, another easy pickings. F of x is negative 4, x minus 9 squared minus 5. There it is again. So the center, opposite of what's next to x, same as the number off to the right. So center will be positive 9, negative 5. Let's put it on the graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Positive 9, negative 5. There's the center. Over 9, down 5. Is this U shape going up or down?
Down.
Yeah, because there's a negative in the front. That's down. So which one looks over to the right and goes down? A. So nice and easy, right? Those graph ones are your favorites. Let's go to 19. 19. F of x equals 6x squared plus 10x plus 1. They want me to find the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. Well, remember the y-intercept is that number off to the right. So the y-intercept is right there. It's 1. So right away you can eliminate half the options. B and C are out. No way. No way it's B and C, huh? You with me? See how the y-intercept has got to be 0, 1, not 0, negative 1. So now we're down to 2 options. How do we find the other ones? What do we do? You 0, because yeah, when you want to find an x-intercept, remember what we learned, you set y to 0. Remember, intercepts are always by the other letter being 0. To find an x-intercept, make y 0. To find a y-intercept, make x 0. Right? So if you want to find an x-intercept, make y 0. Well, where's y? I don't see y. Yeah, y is the f of x, remember? Function letters are your y. So make that be 0. So yeah, you just get 0 equal to this thing. So it's just the normal quad. This is A, this is B, this is C. So it's negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. How many times do we use the quad on this thing? Lots, right? So negative B, negative 10 plus or minus square root of B squared, 10 squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A, negative 10 plus or minus square root of 100 minus 24 over 12, negative 10 plus or minus square root of 76 over 12. Got to break that 76 down. 2 times 38, 2 times 19. Right? 60, yeah, right. 20. And so then it's 2 2's in, kick 1 2 out. Let's bring it up here. And what's left inside is the 19. 2 root 19 over 12. Good to there so far? So there's a lot of this simplifying the square roots thing. So you got to be comfortable with that or really bad things will happen on Monday. Right? You got to be able to simplify square root of 76 without problems. That can't be hard for you because it's going to come up again and again and again and again and again as you've seen. Right? 2 times, just use your calculator. 2 times 38, 219, 2 2's in, 1 2 out, 19's left in. Now, for the 5th time, we have to say, oh, these 3 numbers, all divisible by 2, huh? Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So negative 5 plus or minus root 19 over 6. So whichever one has that. A. A it is. That good? You can do this stuff. If you get that quad down and the simplifying down, that's like most of this test. You can do well on this thing. If you just practice that quad a few times this weekend. Just keep practicing these. Just redo these on your own. You know, start blank, redo this on your own. Practice that quad, practice all that. It's all the little stuff usually. If you can get that little stuff down and just simplifying the roots and dividing the three numbers all by the same thing, you'll do well. That's what it takes. You can do that.
Does that say get y equals 0?
Yeah, set y equal to 0. Yeah. All right, I'm going to keep moving. 5 minutes, 5 problems, a minute a problem. 6 problems actually. So S equals a half gt squared. Solve for t. They want t alone. So, all right, what do you do when you got fractions? Multiply both sides by 2. Gonzo. 2s. I'm getting scribbly here. Going too fast. 2s equals gt squared. Trying to solve for t. T saying I won't be alone. So what do I do next? Divide by the g. Boom. So I've got 2s over g is t squared. Finally, what do you do to get t alone? Root it. There it is. Root of 2s over g. Option C.
Option C.
Good. We'll keep moving. 21. So 21. X equals the square root of r squared minus y squared. Solve for r. Okay, first step. What can you do with the square root and the squares?
Square.
Cancel. R minus y, right?
Oh.
Fully illegal. But a lot of students do that. So say no. It's a no.
No.
Now, why not? It looks so good. It's a no. Why can't you square root? I mean, I thought the square root of anything like w squared or whatever is just w, right? Roots cancel squares, right? Yeah, what causes all the problems in algebra? What takes anything that seems true, nice and easy, and says no to it?
Pluses and
Costco and all their rules, right? It's that minus. They're stuck together. You can't mess with them unless you want to buy the whole package. You can't do that. If those were times, that'd be great. That'd be right. Because, yeah, true. It's true in general. Roots cancel squares. Totally true. But you can't do it to two things glued together. That's the problem. So watch out. I see that mistake made a lot. You can't do that because of the glue. Costco and their glue problems. So we can't do that. So what do we do then? You got to get rid of that root somehow. What's going to get rid of that root? 2 power both sides. Huh? You getting the hang of that? Roots and 2 powers are opposites. 2 power both sides. This side, the root cancels the square. Good to there?
Yeah.
Now we're trying to solve for r. So jump the y squared over. X squared plus y squared is r squared. And last step to solve for r. Root it. Boom. Square root of x squared plus y. And by the way, that's not x plus y. We can't do that, right? Same reason we couldn't do it in the beginning. A lot of people I've seen do good work, get all the way to here, and then try to make that x plus y. They think they need to do one more step of simplification. But that's illegal because of the glue. It has to just stay like this. You cannot go further. They probably even put, yeah, see, they did it. These publishers know, and they even put it on there as an option, didn't they? Yeah. Right? So don't do that. Don't fall. They baited the hook, and they threw it in the water. Don't you bite. Right?
Yeah.
As you know, Costco says no. Right? Is that good? So you cannot root things that are added together or subtracted. They're glued. They're stuck. You can't go any further. Oh, is it E? Yeah, how disturbing. See, that's tempting, isn't it? Because you don't see your answer there, and you see that x plus y, and you think, oh, yeah, that's right, it must be x plus y because the root cancels the square.
No.
They are baiting that hook, aren't they? They're saying, come on, take a bite.
Yeah. Be wrong.
And the only way you're going to know better is if you know better. There's no getting around it. You need to know that
We're
rule.
in the filter part of math.
It is. It's true.
Filtering us out.
Yeah, that's right. We're stuck in the filter. No, wait, no. All right. So 22. How are we doing? We got a minute here? All right. We're getting close to finishing. 2 minus 3x is the root of 6 minus 15x. Woo! These are hard. What do you do when you got a root? Yeah, 2 power both sides, right? Yeah, you get the root alone. So the rules for root, step 1, get alone. Second, well, 2 power both sides, right? You get the root alone. It already was alone. And you 2 power both sides. So this is 2 minus 3x, 2 minus 3x. Here the root cancels the square. FOIL it. 4 minus 6x minus 6x plus 9x squared. Good to there. This is minus 12x. We good to there. What do we do now?
Get a 0.
Get a 0. X squared is on the left, so we got to make the right side 0. So do the opposite of everything on the right side. Whatever you do to one side, you have no choice but to do the same thing to the other. Boom, boom, 0. So this side is minus 2 plus 3x plus 9x squared. Rewrite it in the right order. Like that.
Just toss it into the corner.
And now I'm going to go a, b, c, negative b, plus or minus, square root of b squared, minus 4ac, all over 2a. Crank it out with the quad, right? What answer was it? It was D. So you'll get those answers out of the quad. On we go. 23. 23 is a pain. I'm going to show the first couple steps, and then what I want to show you 24 and 25 real quick. Square root of 9 minus x plus 11. So here's the root. So what do you do? This is a super hard one. It's a double rooter. So this will really separate the A's from the B's, these last 4 questions. Yeah, you got it. First off, you got to get rid of these extra numbers, at least from one of the sides. So, like that. We get to there. At least get it a little cleaner like that. Now, parenthesis 2 power, parenthesis 2 power, right? We get one of the roots alone, and we 2 power on that, right? We good? And so then what happens here? Rooting cancels squaring, and I get 20 minus x. Other side is very difficult. You've got to write 2 of them. And now you've got to FOIL all that out. Boom, boom. Get 9 minus x plus 3 root of 9 minus x. Boom, boom. Plus 3 root of 9 minus x. 3 times 3 is 9. Yeah, these are just a pain. Keep going. I don't know if you've tracked with all that messy FOIL I just did. And then you got to combine things. So 20 minus x. 9 and 9 makes 18. Minus x. 3 root of 9 minus 3 and 3 root of 9 minus x, and 3 root of 9 minus x is 6 root of 9 minus x. It's a mess. So we get to there. We separate these 2 lines. Now what? It's like this problem doesn't seem to be going anywhere. What do you got to do? You got to get that root alone. Whenever you got a root, even halfway through a problem, you got to get it alone. This is one of the definitely harder ones. Separate. You will not get an A unless you can do these double rooters and the other rooter and some of the completing the square stuff. So I got to get this root alone. That root's got to be alone. How do I get that root alone? Get rid of the 18 and add the x. Get rid of the 18 and add the x. The x's are gone. That's nice. 18's gone. That's 2 equals 6 root of 9 minus x. We good to there? Everybody see what just happened? Got rid of the 18 and the x. Do it to the other side. So now it's nicer. So now it's 2 equals 6 root of 9 minus x. Right?
There you go.
Pretty good? Then I would just square both sides right now. I would go 2 power, 2 power. That's 4. That's 36. You could have divided by the 6. Yeah, if you prefer. Yeah. Either way. Maybe I'll do that. It doesn't really matter. Maybe I'll do that. 2 equals 6 root. Yeah. So you could divide by the 6 if you want. So you get 1/3. Reduce that fraction, and then 2 power both sides. Either way, this is 1/9, Here the root cancels the square, 9 minus x. We're so close. Now you got to solve for x. How are you going to do that? Yeah. So, how about this? I'm going to jump the x to the other side. It becomes a plus x. Is that okay? Subtract a 9. What is 9 whole pies take away a ninth of a pie? Isn't that 8 and 8/9 pies?
Yes.
Is that too quick? Do whatever you want there. As far as calculator, common denominator, whatever you like. Is that confusing? I can show it. It's 9 minus a ninth, which is 9 over 1. Top and bottom by 9 for common denominator. Right? Top and bottom by 9. So that's 81 ninths minus 1 ninth. That's 80 ninths. D. All right, last thing. I'll just do the harder one, which is 24. 25, same thing, easier. P squared plus 3p. Oh, what did I write? Plus 3p minus 9 equals 0, right? Everybody got the new version I gave you? So what do you do? First off, you move the 9 to the other side. P squared plus 3p, 9's over there. Then you got to find the completing number. Remember, it's the number in the middle over 2 squared. Remember that? To complete the square, you've always got to first get the 9 out of the way, move it to the other side. Then you got to take the number in the middle, put it over 2, and square it. So that's going to be p squared. And that is what? 9/4. You got to add that to both sides. Everybody see what I did? Remember these? Completing the square? Everybody see what happened there? So I moved the 9 over. I took the middle term over 2 and squared it. 9/4. Added it to both sides. Now these 3 are guaranteed to factor now. How so?
It's going to be what's in
The number in the parentheses is the number in the parentheses.
Yeah.
Plus 3 halves, plus 3 halves. And the other side, 9 over 1, multiply top and bottom by 4. Common denominator, 36/4 and 9/4, 45/4. P plus 3 halves squared. Whew. And that's as far as I went. That's answer C. But I didn't really finish. I wanted to just give you partway through it. And so you can see there it is. That's answer C. 25 is the same. All right, we will stop there.